Congratulations, you've just found the #1 over 50 health and wellness podcast on the planet. Hello, and welcome to the Over 50 Health and Wellness Show. I'm your host, Kevin English. I'm a healthy aging expert, and I'm the founder of The Silver Edge, and I am on a mission to help men and women just like you build lean, strong, healthy, capable bodies they love for the rest of their lives. Today, I am pumped to have Silver Edge coach and program director Monica Jacobs back on the show as our co-host. If you've been with us for a while, you already know Monica is one of our rockstar coaches who's been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their health and fitness goals. In today's episode, we're diving deep into a topic that doesn't always get the attention it deserves, and that's the power of consistency and patience in building a lean, strong, healthy body that you can love for the rest of your life. We'll be sharing our own journeys, client success stories, and of course, a sneak peek into our upcoming 21-day Fall Fat Burner Challenge. So, if you're ready to stop chasing the latest fad and start focusing on what really works, stick around. This episode is packed with insights that will set you on the path to lasting success. Let's get started. Hey folks, I've got some really exciting news that I can't wait to share with you. If you're ready to reignite your metabolism, shed those stubborn pounds, and feel more energized than you have in years, then listen up because this is for you. I am thrilled to announce that registration is officially open for our 21-day Fall Fat Burner Challenge. That's right, starting today, you can secure your spot in what's shaping up to be our most transformative challenge yet. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, Kev, really? Another fat loss challenge? But trust me, this one is different because here at the Silver Edge, we don't believe in quick fixes or crash diets that leave you feeling frustrated and defeated. We've designed this challenge to be the ultimate jumpstart for your metabolism, turning you from a fat storer into a fat burning machine. And here's the kicker. We're not even going to ask you to step on a scale. Yep, that's correct. No weigh-ins, because we know that the number on the scale doesn't tell the whole story. This challenge is all about helping you feel stronger, leaner, and more confident while setting the stage for long-term success. Over the course of 21 days, you'll learn how to prime your metabolism, drop inches from your waist, and start seeing real lasting changes in how your clothes fit and how you feel. You'll be amazed at how quickly your body can respond when you give it the right signals. And if that's not enough to get you pumped, let me sweeten the deal. We're giving away some awesome prizes. The grand prize winner will receive 6 months of personalized one-on-one nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle coaching. This is an incredible $1,950 value. Imagine the progress you could make with 6 months of expert guidance tailored just for you. But wait, there's more. We've got some fantastic runner-up prizes too, so there's plenty of chances to walk away with something special. So seriously, what are you waiting for? The challenge kicks off on Monday, September 9th, 2024, and it runs through Sunday, September 29th. Mark your calendars because this is one event you don't want to miss. To get in on the action, head over to the show notes for this episode at silveredgefitness.com/297 and sign up today. Seriously, pause the episode right now, silveredgefitness.com/297. You'll find the link to sign up right there. I want to see you inside this challenge. So let's make this fall the season that you finally turn your fat burning dreams into reality. Monica, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's always fun to get together and chat with you a little bit on these. So folks that don't know, Monica is one of our rockstar coaches over here at the Silver Edge. She's also our program director, and you're going to hear more about what that entails as we get into this episode. But Monica, before we get started today, what's new with you? What's going on?
Well, Kevin, this past weekend, I did something that I think a lot of people in our viewer land out there can relate to. I moved my college daughter back to college.
Okay, so that was this weekend. Yeah,
that was this past weekend.
A lot of our folks can definitely relate to that. I know I've got a client that just did a 2-day drive, basically across country to drop his daughter off for college. But yeah.
Oh my goodness! No, thankfully it's only 4 hours away from us, so it's not that far away. But it did take 2 carloads. So this year she's moving. Last year she was on campus and had a dorm room. And this year she decided that she's going to live off campus because she wants to be able to cook for herself. She does not like living or eating out of the cafeteria all the time. Okay. So she decided she's going to cook for herself. Hey, I'm all for that. Life skills, sure. Right? So moved her into an apartment, and it took 2 carloads of stuff. She went up a few days ahead of time and had a carload of stuff, and I had the back of my car just stuffed.
Is that right?
It was incredible.
Off to college.
Off to college, but she's all in there. Her classes actually start today, so she's good to go now. So.
All right. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of folks can relate to that. A lot of us are in that empty nester or preparing for that empty nest phase. So, or if you're like me, so we actually just built a house, my wife and I, out here in the country. And we finally got into that. It's another long drama soap opera story. But we're here now in our old house, which is just down the lane on our property. We turned it into a duplex. So we are now landlords for our 2 kids, but we have them right here on the farm with us. And so I make fun about, having them this close, but I love it. It's nice having them here.
Yeah.
So they're both here, and I'm enjoying that a lot. So I'll tell you, speaking of the weekend, I had a very, very active weekend. So I wear an Oura ring, right? So a lot of folks in our communities are wearing Fitbits. They're wearing Whoop straps, Oura rings. They've got the Apple Watches, all these things, right? We have these wonderful metrics tracker right now. And my Oura ring on Saturday said I burned over, almost 4,300 calories.
Oh my gosh, what were you doing?
29,000 plus steps.
Oh my
almost
gosh.
30,000 steps. So I guess, and now probably a year or so ago, I noticed that I got my regular, especially my weekday steps were getting kind of low. There were days I wasn't getting 5,000-6,000 steps. I was just glued to my computer, like a lot of people, right? I was consumed with my work, and I was like, all right, Kev, hang on. You're a coach. You got a podcast about telling people, hey, the importance of sleeping and walking and eating and exercising and all this stuff. And you don't have any excuse not to get out and get those steps. So I got really, really intentional about my steps because I just let that lapse a little bit. So easy. So I've intentionally been over 10,000 steps, and now I'm between 10 and 20,000 steps on any given day. I make it a point to take small walking breaks throughout the day. But this Saturday, I woke up early in the morning, jumped on the ferry, and went over to Carolina Beach, went surfing with a buddy of mine. So those weren't really steps; those were paddles. I was out surfing for a few hours, but I had my ring on, so it picked all that up, I guess, as walking. I came home, and I've got 3 acres out here that basically I got all these raised beds. I've got all these blueberry bushes that I planted. I probably got 20, 30 blueberry bushes out here. So I've got to use a push mower around all of that. So I had about 2 hours of push mowing, about 3 hours of the riding mower, probably not that long. And then, of course, breaking out the weed whacker, and I had another hour of that. So I just did, and of course, it was 99 degrees, very humid. And but anyway, just a lot of activity. So almost 30,000 steps and almost 43,000 calories. Now, 4,300 calories burned. Did I really burn 4,300 calories? I don't know. Maybe not. But that would be about 1,000 calories over my maintenance. I'm eating about 3,300 calories right now, which a lot of people might find surprising. That's a lot of food.
Yeah. Do you have to mow the grass like that every single week? Weed eat and push mow
basically,
and everything?
Yes, there is a lot of upkeep. But here's the deal. When it is all mowed and trimmed up and looking good, it looks spectacular out here. It almost looks like 2 different properties. When it's overgrown and when it's just immaculately taken care of, it just looks amazing. But there's about 5 hours a week of yard, pasture, lawn maintenance out here. Not a week maybe, and during the summer it's probably every week, and then as things move into fall, it'll be every other week, and then of course in the winter just some light maintenance. But
we only have like 2/3 of an acre, which is still pretty big lot.
Decent sized lot. Yeah,
pretty decent sized lot. And it'll take us now. We got one of those 0 turn radius lawnmowers. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do you have one of those?
Oh, I most certainly do. Yeah, I got the big.
That thing is the bomb.
Oh yeah, I love it.
We can mow the grass in like 40 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
And it used to take us maybe even less than that. It may only take them 30 minutes to mow the grass, but it used to take us a good hour to mow the grass with the old lawnmower, just because it was a super old one. You can only mow like half of the lane at each time because the chute would get stopped up, and it was a super old one. Anyway, this new lawnmower, it just goes right through it, so it makes it a lot easier. But when I don't weed eat every single week, but usually I'm the one running the weed eater, and when I do, I'm guaranteed to get 10,000 steps in that day.
Yeah.
Usually every other week I'll do weed eating. on the yard.
Same. I don't weed eat every single time I do the lawn, but I do. I have to use the push mower a lot because I planted around here so much. In fact, I've got about a yard of dirt sitting in front of the new house, and that's going to go into probably a couple of new raised beds that I've yet to build. So there's another weekend project for me. But
yeah, we have a few raised beds that we have gardening. So we have like tomatoes and bell peppers in there right now, and in the spring we'll have lettuce and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we do have to push mow around those or weed eat. It's not so many, so usually I'll just weed eat around them, just zip, 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 and done. But if I want to do a more professional job, I will crank up the push mower and weed eat, or push mower around them. But usually I just weed eat.
Yeah, it's a great way to get your steps in, and be
yeah.
functionally active and fit. Just something to be said about yard work, gardening, all that fun stuff. Well, speaking of being fit, do you have a client win you want to shout out? Do you have a client that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I do. So my client, Nicole, she has been with me for almost 1 year. So she joined me. We did a 21-day challenge in fall of last year. And she did the challenge. She was like, oh my gosh, this is where I need to be at. So she went one-on-one private coaching with me after that. And she has been incredible. We took 6 months. So she was on the 21-day challenge, and we took an additional probably close to 3 months after that just to get her metabolism running where it needed to be at. And she tells me all this time that her metabolism was just a train wreck when she came to us. A wreck. She had done every single fad diet out there. She was eating 1,200 calories. She felt horrible. And she started the challenge. She was like, I feel better. And I'm eating more food than I used to. So she went on one-on-one with me. She has lost, I think she's lost 30 pounds so far.
Good
with
for her.
me.
Yeah.
And we have gone through a few of the reverse diet up to maintenance or a little beyond maintenance calories, and then we'll go through a cut to lose weight. We've been through several of those now. And every time she does what I tell her to do. She's like the ideal client because she does what I tell her to do. She eats to her calories. Her workouts are getting great, and she's continuing to lose weight. We're on a reverse diet right now. So she's building back up. And she just started a new workout series. So I was like, oh, this is a great time to do a reverse diet. Let's get in some more food. Let's build some muscle up. We're going to be starting to do another cut. I believe in early September, we'll be doing another cut with her. But I just can't wait to see where she goes now. And I think for her, the biggest wins have been she's able to play with her granddaughter down on the floor. Now, her granddaughter's an infant. She's like a year old. So she's just now starting to walk. But she can get down on the floor and play with her. Whereas before, her knees felt so bad she couldn't do that. And another win that I loved was that she's using the same dumbbells that her 20-something-year-old son does for a few of the workouts. She's like, I use that dumbbell too.
I love it.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think Coach Jess had a very similar win last week. She explained, hey, that her client was able to get down on the floor and play. I think there was maybe some Nerf gun wars that she was participating in as well with the kids. So I love hearing that, how not just you reach your body composition goals, you lose the weight that you want to, right? But that your quality of life really, really improves. Now, for anybody who's out here listening, might not be familiar with our framework and how we work, and they've just heard you say, we're going to start another cut and we've got to run a reverse right now. Do you want to talk a little bit about that framework just at a very high level? What if somebody's hearing reverse diet and you saying, well, now she's eating more food, and they're probably thinking, well, wait, if she's losing 30 pounds, how is she eating more food? You want to take a minute and just explain what you mean by that in case somebody listening is like, hey, wait, what?
So a reverse diet is just what it sounds like it is. It's most people think of a diet as a time where you're cutting your food intake back to lose weight. A reverse diet is where you're slowly increasing your calories. So you're increasing up in calories, not decreasing down. Now, during this time, most people are going to think, oh, well, I'm going to start just adding weight and gaining weight. conversely, that's not true. Most people will maintain the weight they have. They may go up or down up a couple of pounds here or there but that's mainly with water weight if they eat something salty or
muscle
like
as well, right?
Muscle.
If you're in that reverse phase and you're coupling that with strength training, certainly.
Right, right. So, but most people will pretty much maintain their weight that they were at. So we're in a reverse diet phase with her right now. So we had been in a cut. She did lose some weight, and now we're reverse dieting back up. So we're in essence repairing her metabolism and training her metabolism so that it's running at this level of calories instead of at this level. Because in a cut, you're depriving your body of calories. You're teaching your metabolism to change. When it doesn't, those first couple of weeks when you're in a cut, your metabolism is still running up here, but you're only giving it here. That's when you see weight loss. Eventually, though, your metabolism is going to catch up. It's going to adapt, which is what it's supposed to do. We have evolved that way in our human bodies.
Correct.
So eventually, you'll see the weight loss stop and kind of maintain. And when it does it at that point, your metabolism has adapted. You're not going to lose any more weight when you're eating at that level unless you make some kind of a change. You go further into a cut and cut it a bit more, you'll lose a little bit more weight. Or if that's the rock bottom, ground of where you want your minimum calories to be, then you'll start reversing back up and kind of repairing your metabolism little by little by little by little. And I think that's just where most diets fail at. They lose the weight and then they just
then what?
Give up and they just go right back to where they were eating.
Right.
They don't have a plan for what to do after that diet or that cut phase is over.
Yeah, I like to say you have to have a diet exit strategy. You can't just diet. Now you're eating very low calorie. You can't stay there forever. And believe me, some people try, but it's a horrible place to be. You're just, because like you said, your metabolism is evolved. It doesn't know you're on a diet. It's perceiving this as food scarcity. And so it's just slowing down, which by the way is code for burning less calories and burning less calories and burning less calorie, making it harder and harder to lose fat, making it more probable that you're losing muscle instead of fat. So we use this framework of spending a little bit of time in a calorie deficit and then slowly and methodically reverse dieting like Monica explained. Yeah. So great explanation there. Just anybody out there was not familiar with that. So speaking of that framework, I want to give a shout out. And I think as I'm getting ready to say this, I think I've already shouted her out in the past. I know I've talked about her on this podcast. I'm going to shout out Carla. She has been with us. She's been with me, one of my clients for, we are going on 3 years by now.
Yeah, probably so.
So she came in and she's the one, if you're probably thinking, Carla, if I heard that name before, we did a podcast about her. She's actually been with me so long. She is going through NCI's nutrition coaching program herself. So she will eventually be a certified coach. So she's come a long way, but we still chat every single week. And now I still do all her exercise programming for her. But in terms of nutrition coaching, she's got a hold of that. And I'm oftentimes, as opposed to me with most of my clients, I'm prescribing, okay, now we're going to start a fat loss phase. Now we're going to reverse out. Now I ask her, what are you working on? She goes, well, I think I'm getting ready to get into a strength phase. So I'm going to start to bump up my calories a little bit. We get back to tracking. And she's been very, very, very consistent with her workouts. And she is getting strong. And she's looking great. So we're getting ready to kind of transition here and talk a little bit about consistency and patience. And that's why she came to mind as I was thinking about who do I want to give a shout out today, because she is the poster child for just being consistent.
Oh my gosh. She's the epitome of of our client wins, because she has totally embraced the wellness. And I love it that she's at a place now where she really doesn't need you anymore, Kevin.
That's true. That's true. I'm her accountability. I'm her buddy, and we bounce things off each other. But you're absolutely right. She can program her exercises for herself at this point if she desires.
Yeah.
She's done it long enough. She clearly has control of her nutrition. She's very, very diligent about working on her mindset. She's got a very positive. She embraces this healthy lifestyle. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And I tell my one-on-one clients this, usually the first time or two that we meet, is it's my job to make sure that you don't need me anymore in the future. And they're like, what? But don't you want me to stay with you forever? You know, that's your income, right? You would think so. But that's not the sign of a good coach. A good coach is somebody there who's teaching you. They're leading you on your own journey. Not everybody has the same journey. And she has totally embraced that. She doesn't need you for knowing what phase that she needs to be in now.
Correct.
You have coached her well.
She understands that framework very well. It's kind of going back to, like you said, you sent your daughter off to college or back to college this weekend. Your kids aren't meant to live with you forever. At some point, you need to give them the tools so that they can go out and adult on their own. And of course, some kids are more successful in that than others, and take some kids longer than others. But that's the idea, right? So absolutely 100%. Well, Monica, that makes a really good transition to where I wanted to what I wanted to chat with you today is, we're actually recording this the week before this is going to go live. But today, if you're on our email list, so this would have been last week for those of you listening that are on our email list, I sent out an email all about consistency and patience. And I wanted to talk about the importance that consistency and patience play when it comes to this building a lifelong, lean, healthy, strong, capable body that you love for the rest of your life. We talk about that all the time. And I feel like maybe we don't give this topic enough love. Maybe we don't talk about it enough. I know last time you and I talked, we talked a lot about motivation. We talked a lot about discipline. And we hit on consistency and patience because we talked about James Clear and 1% better every day.
Right.
But let's kind of start here. Tell us about your own journey with consistency and patience. When did this click for you? And was it day one that you were just on it, or did you learn it over time? How did this play out in your own journey?
I think this is something that I learned over time, because I've always had a lot of good, healthy habits. They weren't ones that I practice every day. They weren't ones that I set up my own personal accountability to do every day. Now, fortunately, I was raised in a house. My mother was a nurse. My parents always had a big garden every year. So we ate a lot of what we grew. So I feel like as far as just eating good, healthy meals and fruits and vegetables and cooking a lot of our own meals and not going out to eat very often was just a way of life for me. So I feel very fortunate that I grew up that way. And that kind of set the way that I approach nutrition since I was on my own. You know, when I was on my own in college, had an apartment, was cooking for myself, and we didn't eat pizza and chicken wings and things like that every single night. We actually cooked meals, and we ate vegetables and fruits, and we ate nutritiously. And I think just having that kind of a background just made it to be kind of a habit I did every day. But I did not have consistency with some of the other things that make up a good well-being. I was not consistent on exercise. I was not very consistent on drinking enough water, on stress relief, on sleeping. Those things came later. So when I started my own healthy journey, I joined CrossFit Gym 7 years ago. Yeah. The exercise part fell into place quickly because, they're encouraged to come to 3 or 4 classes a week. And now I go every day, but they're not full body workouts every day. But I was encouraged to come 3 days a week, and having that consistency really, really, really helped me as far as there's somebody, I had to log into class. I had to put in how much weights that I did. So making logs into my personal records for different exercises. And all of that accountability just kind of built and built and built on each other. Then I started tracking my food into my MyFitnessPal every day. That was another really big accountability piece for me, because then I could see exactly and get like an umbrella view of what I am eating every day. And, over a week's worth, then I can see on average, how much am I eating every day as far as how much fat, carbs, protein, calories, and how much water I drink every day. So that was another big piece for me to have that accountability in right there.
Yeah, you strike me as an accountability machine, and I can kind of see that. I think like you referenced it's baked into your background. I think it's baked into your personality a little bit. I really struggled with this for the longest time. My history. I was very, very unhealthy for a while, and then I got kind of quasi healthy, and I got really, really sick again in my mid 40s. I kind of imploded health wise, but there was a time in my life where I spent decades smoking a pack of cigarettes a day and drinking heavily, doing drugs, and just being consistent with that. So I looked and felt like somebody who did those things. And then I had a big health scare in my 40s that kind of started this whole journey. And at first my goal was just to be not sick. And then my goal was to be, as I start to feel better, I wanted to, well, what else is there? Can I be optimally well, right? And I'm on that journey still to this day. But it took me years, and I need years to figure this piece out, because I'd be somebody, Monica will be able to appreciate this because my personality. I just have this shiny object syndrome. I'm like, oh, squirrel. And I'm after it. I'm after it like a bulldog. But the problem is there's a new shiny object every week. I'd see something online. Back in that day, it was bodybuilder.com, and somebody would have, or Men's Health. I would buy that magazine, try this new workout, this new HIIT workout will shed fat and build muscle in 21 days. Like, okay, I'm doing that. And I'd get a little bit of results. And then I'd see something else, I'd do this, and I would do that. And I was just chasing all these different things. I was not at all consistent. Certainly my workouts. The diet came much, much later for me. That was another piece I had to learn. But slowly and surely, it started to click into place for me when I had this understanding, I guess, that it's these small, boring habits that are done consistently over time that really, really add up. And patience is not my strong suit at all. So it was really, really difficult for me to, that part of the journey, just understanding, oh, wait, so if I do this for 6 months as opposed to 6 days or even 6 weeks, I'll have the benefit that I'm looking for. If I do this forever, you had mentioned, hey, it took me a while to be consistent with my sleep. It took me a while to be consistent with these other behaviors. And same, right? The drinking the water you mentioned, getting the sleep, the stress management, all these critical pieces, eating healthy food, getting enough protein, avoiding the ultra processed foods and hyper palatable foods. And I got to where I'd be really, really good on the weekdays, and then I'd just go full ham on the weekends, and it would kind of confuse me. Yeah. I didn't, looking back, that's how I see it now. But at the time, I was like, I'm healthy. Why the heck am I not making the progress that I should? And it wasn't until I understood, oh, the weekdays aren't any different than a weekday, according to your metabolism. If you're going to go out and have a bunch of drinks on the weekend, and just, of course, with that comes food choices that aren't the best probably, and stay up late and all these other behaviors that aren't conducive to your stated goal of, hey, I want to optimize my health. And when I finally ticked all those boxes and got all of that in a row, got my nutrition dialed in, got my sleep dialed in, got my exercise dialed in, and realized that, oh, it's just this, I just have to do these boring, simple things day in, day out, like a machine. Yeah. Right. And I'm not saying never, ever have dessert, never have an alcoholic drink, never stay up late on a weekend or any of those things. I feel like that's actually counter to what we teach anyway. We don't want to have this restrictive mindset where it's you can't do that, or this is off limits, or worse yet, that this food or this behavior is quote unquote bad. Right. Maybe it's, it maybe it doesn't serve your metabolic health, but maybe it serves some other purpose in the moment. But when I strung all that together, that's kind of when everything changed. It's not kind of. That is when everything changed. I knew what to do. I knew these healthy behaviors. I just wasn't doing them consistently. I was doing them inconsistently. I was guilty of chasing one fad thing after another. Oh, I'm going to try intermittent fasting. Hey, I'm going to be vegan. Oh, I'm going to take out gluten now. I would hop to all these different things. Same thing with the workouts, and hadn't really considered my drinking or sleep, and it was all of this, and it's still a journey, right? Still learning. But
it's still a
that
journey.
Was always
even for myself, even now and I'm 7 years in, it's still a journey. Yeah, it's a lot easier journey now. My road is a lot smoother than it used to be.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And I look at it this way: if what you're doing to build the body that you want. But for most of us, that's lose weight. But some of it could be, hey, I just want to feel better. I want to move pain-free. I want to be stronger. I want to be more muscular. I want to look like I'd lift. I want to look jacked, whatever that is. If what you're doing now to get there doesn't feel lifelong sustainable, and, hello, 75 hard or super low calorie diets or Optavia or keto, whatever. If it doesn't feel like it's lifetime sustainable, then you're going to get temporary results. That's what we see time and time again with the clients. There are now hundreds of clients that have come through our program. We say, hey, we always ask this early on, what worked for you and what didn't in the past? Oh, and almost invariably, well, I did intermittent fasting and it worked when I was in my 30s or 40s, or I did keto and I dropped a bunch of weight, or I joined Weight Watchers and I lost a bunch of weight. But here we are, we're on a sales call for you to pay a lot of money to come into our one-on-one program. Why is that? Well, I gained that weight back because they did something kind of extreme that worked until it didn't, but it's not lifelong sustainable. So,
and we see this all the time.
We see it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's really quite interesting. Those two questions, I think, are two of the most important questions that we have on that questionnaire. Is what have you done in the past? What has worked or not?
What has worked or not? We always say worked in
what worked and what didn't work.
In quotation
and you know
marks.
what?
Because if it worked, you wouldn't be here.
That's what I tell them. If it worked,
services.
you wouldn't be talking to me right now.
You wouldn't be talking to me, right? Yeah, you'd probably be teaching somebody else. But
you know, you were talking about you're chasing all of these things, and I feel like so many people nowadays are in that chase. They see social media and all of these influencers and celebrities pushing whatever the fad of the day is for health and wellness. And that's exactly what it is. It's a fad. And people are getting pushed into this direction and this direction. And it may work for a very short time, but is it sustainable? Is it something you can do forever? Most of the time, no.
I tell people when especially clients will say, hey, I saw this on social media. What do you think about that? Or friends, family will ask me certain things. And I'll say, hey, look, when in doubt, the basics, the boring basics, eat real food, get lots of protein, strength train a few days a week, walk, drink your water, sleep regularly, manage your stress. I mean, if you only did those things and just cut out all the rest of the noise, including our framework, even if you just ignored all of that, but just did the basic boring stuff consistently day in, day out, you would probably magically find that you get what you want. And for a lot of people, that's great news. And for others, it's not so great news because it's like, oh, okay. So I'm because they're married maybe to these behaviors, and I'm married, right? They're in love with these behaviors, these behaviors that they've done for a long, long time. And probably they're socially intertwined with their entire life. I know for me, with the whole alcohol journey, it's one of the last things I gave up, but most of it was because I perceived you didn't have fun unless you were having drinks, because those two things were synonymous for me. My friend circle, where we would get together, we would have drinks. We would sometimes have a lot of drinks, and it was fun. It was a way of release. It was a way of
something that you can do together with your friends,
blowing off steam. And it was a social event.
Yeah.
And so some of you, that may be that may be you're getting around people that have other unhealthy behaviors, or maybe it's alcohol, but that whole social dynamic might have to change. It probably does have to change. There's a saying that you're the average of your 8 closest friends in your circle. So if the people in your circle are all sedentary and partying and eating crappy food and have these other unhealthy behaviors, chances are you're that person too. And that can be really, really tough to try and make that transition out of that.
Yeah.
And that's one, I'm still working through a lot of that myself, but that's one of the things that I think that I really enjoy about social media. I've built a whole virtual group or support network of people that are like-minded. And while I do have people like that in real life, you, for example, we live in the same town, we see each other, we work together as well. But so I do have this group of friends now that are more health minded. I'm still kind of the nutrition nerd or the workout nut in my friend group, but I have these virtual communities where we come together, we connect. I'm certainly in communities with other coaches, and I absolutely love that you can have these now. It's possible in this day and age that you can have these communities of people who will support you, will lift you up, will give you a pat on the back or a kick in the butt when you need it. So
yeah. And that helps with motivation too. We talked about that a little bit
on
our last podcast.
Yeah.
It fills up that motivation well.
Yeah. All right. Well, Monica, what I really wanted to talk to you about is it's that time of year again. We do this every couple of years. But speaking of healthy behaviors, healthy habits, and practicing the boring stuff, we've got a 21-day challenge getting ready to kick off. Registration opens today. So if you're listening to this right now when it releases, let's get you in there.
That's right.
For folks that aren't familiar, like I said, we've done these a couple of years for the last few years. What is today? This year. It's our 21-day fat burner, our fall fat burner challenge.
Fat burner challenge.
What can people expect? From this? What is it? And what isn't it? I suppose.
I want to go something before we talk about what it is we're going to talk about the time of year that we're doing it, because I think that's important too. So everybody's always gung-ho at the beginning of the year. What is their New Year's resolutions? And pretty much everybody has the same one. I want to lose all this weight and lose all this fat and get fit. And I'm going to exercise every day. I'm going to cut out sugar. I'm going to cut out caffeine. I have all of these unrealistic expectations, and it lasts until like January 3rd. And then that's over.
Doesn't last long. Yeah.
But it does not last long. I like to start this challenge. We usually do them in late August and September. And I like this time of year because we all, if you've been living in the U.S. for any amount of time or grew up here in the U.S., we all start school somewhere around Labor Day. We started school. That was the beginning of the school year. So even though it's kind of mid to late summer, it's mid-year, it's not the beginning of the year. It's kind of like the beginning of a new year. So I always feel like that even to this day. It has been many years since I graduated from school. But that's the beginning of the school year. And if you have children or grandchildren, they're all going back to school. My daughter just went to college. It's the beginning of something new. So I think this is an ideal time to do a 21-day challenge. Just right there.
There you go. So, this is the perfect time to do a 21-day challenge.
It's a great time.
I'm with you. Yep.
Yeah. Plus, it's far enough before the holidays, you can get all of these good healthy habits, and we'll talk about what all of those are in a few minutes. Everything into place for you on your wellness journey before we have that long holiday season to go through that I know a lot of people kind of dread. So the 21-day challenge, we run it through our private smartphone app called EverFit. This is the same app that we use with all of our private one-on-one coaching clients. And it's like they're one of our clients for 21 days. They have access to our phone app. But on the 21-day challenge, we really work on making those boring, everyday healthy habits into something that you do every single day. We also assign you a workout, and you have different workouts to choose from, whether you are a beginner, an intermediate, if you're an advanced person who's worked out for many years. We also have choices depending on what kind of exercise equipment that you have access to, whether you're doing your workout at home, maybe you just have a few sets of dumbbells and a sets of bands. Maybe you have some gym equipment at home. Maybe you have access to a full gym. However you are going to do your workouts, we have several to choose from on there. But really the meat and potatoes of this workout it's funny, meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes of this workout, or this 21-day challenge, is building these healthy habits. So the first week we concentrate on 4 habits, and I'll read them out to you here because since we're talking about them, you're going to concentrate on getting in a resistance workout 3 to 4 days a week. You're going to get points for walking a set number of steps every day. And we don't start it off at 10,000 steps, Kevin. We're starting it off for this challenge at 6,500 steps every day. Very realistic and obtainable goal for most people. you get points for completing these tasks for drinking a minimum of 70 ounces of water a day. Again, that's kind of minimum threshold for most people. And then a point every day for eating one serving of fruits and vegetables at each meal. Those 4 habits. That's all we're working on for the first week. Second week, we're going to build on that. We're going to add a habit to it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to wait for the challenge. Third week, we're going to add another habit onto there. Again, you'll have to wait for the challenge to see what it is because it's a secret. But you also have daily bonus, kind of a bonus points or bonus challenge. And that's where it gets to be a lot of fun at. Because I throw all kinds of things at you. Some of them are pretty easy, like, did you get enough sleep last night? Some of them are not as easy, like, did you drink alcohol yesterday? You'll maybe
so
not get
that's
get a point for that.
Right? Did you yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah. So some of them are kind of sneaky. We do make it hard. We make it challenging. We also have a forum within the EverFit app, and everybody who's in the challenge will be in the forum. And here's where we talk with each other. Like you said, building that community. You have that community that you have built for yourself, for your own accountability with like-minded individuals. This is our community here. And this is where everybody will introduce themselves, talk about what they're facing, talk about whatever their bonus challenges for that day. And some of them are really fun to do. Some of them are hard to do. Some of them are like, wow, this really pushed me into doing something that I normally wouldn't do for that day. But building that community aspect of it, you will certainly get accountability and motivation through that social aspect of that online forum there.
Okay, I love it. Now, those of you that have been with us for a while, because we have people that have done every single challenge we've ever done, even from that predate Monica.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have a little bit of a cult following on our challenges. And I think one of the reasons is this. It's different. What you did not hear Monica say is weigh in on day 1 and weigh in on day 21. We're not going to ask you to weigh in. We don't know how much weight you lose, gain. And to be honest, we don't really care.
No, and our winner,
what this is.
We don't know if our winner lost the most weight or not.
We want to fire up your metabolism. We want to get your body prepared and healthy to do whatever you want to do. If from there you want to go on into a fat loss phase, we can have a conversation about what that might look like. But this is not a fat loss challenge. This is a metabolic building challenge, really. What we want to do is turn your body from a fat storer to a fat burner.
Yes.
And we're not looking for a dramatic weight loss, because if you do that, you're probably losing more muscle than, or maybe you're probably losing as much muscle as you are fat if we're just crash dieting. We're also promoting unhealthy, unsustainable behaviors. We had just spent the last 30 minutes talking about why boring, consistent, healthy habits are going to win the day for this long-term, lifelong, lean, healthy, strong, capable body. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to practice these healthy habits. And the winner is the person who's the most consistent. Because like Monica said, for each day, you're going to have a daily task. And when you click it complete, you're going to get a point. There's a live, real-time leaderboard in the forum so everybody can see exactly where you rank.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun with it, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely do. And our winner, like we said before, is not the person who lost the most weight or lost the most inches or restricted their diet the most. The winner is the person who's most consistent with doing all of these tasks every day. I failed to mention that when you take off or when you open your EverFit app, you have your daily task on there. Right there is the top thing that you see, and you just check off that you have completed each of those every day, which ones you did. And we do have that real-time leaderboard that shows how many points you get for that day. And we always have that bonus point. Some days we have 2 bonus points. Again, you have to wait and see what happens on that day. But our winner is the person who's the most consistent with establishing these and embracing these healthy habits. And this is great accountability for practicing these basic daily healthy habits every single day for 21 days. If you can do something for 21 days, do you think it's a habit?
It gets pretty close to that, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's
like
pretty darn close. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And so we have winners also.
We
so
do
the person
have winners.
who wins is going to get 6 months of one-on-one personalized nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle coaching from us. So that will be our grand prize. We have a runner-up and a second runner-up prize that'll be free coaching as well, and some different levels there. I think we are planning on doing some giveaways every Friday. So we have these check-in sheets on every Friday. If you complete those, you're entered into a raffle to win one of our weekly giveaways. So lots of fun stuff there.
Yes.
What else? And we're doing something a little different this time as well.
That's what I was going to mention.
This is a paid challenge, and there's a couple of reasons for that. There's one main reason. Our software won't let us, quote unquote, sell a $0 product. You can be just a feature or a glitch, if you will, of the software. So in order for us to put in all this really cool automation that Monica has built, we actually have to sell you a product in order for us to kick off this really cool experience. So we could sell it for $1, but that seemed kind of silly. So what we came up with is it's $21. $21, it's $1 a day. This, I promise you, will be the best money you ever invest in your health and wellness ever, hands down. $21, $1 a day. You can't buy anything for $1, really.
No.
Not even at the dollar store. So $1 a day. It's $21. And the other thing I want to tell you is, of course, registration is open today. You can go to, this is episode 297. So you can go to silveredgefitness.com/297. That's the number 297. That's our show notes for this show. Of course, if you're on our email list, you already saw an email go out this morning that has registration there. If you're in our Facebook group, that has already been announced there. If you're anywhere on any of our socials, or if you're in touch with us in any way, you will see how to join that. But really encourage you folks to get in here, have some fun, meet some like-minded people, interact with them, build that community, and get an opportunity to practice healthy habits outside of just going on a diet.
Yeah.
I think most people listening to this have the experience of, I've dieted, I've lost weight, it just didn't last. It's probably why you're listening to this podcast, frankly. So get in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know of anywhere else online where you can get 3 weeks of pretty much group coaching for $21. It's a bargain.
It is a bargain.
It's a bargain. And to give a little bit more value, since we are charging for this one, since we're using EverFit for this one, to give it a little bit more value, Kevin and I are going to be doing some, what are we calling this? A class? A seminar? Webinar?
So exclusive webinars.
Exclusive webinars. Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to be doing an hour-long group webinar every single week. I believe the first week we're going to be talking about nutrition. The second week we're going to be talking about exercise. The third week we're going to be talking about mindset. And again, this is extra value. It's like sitting in a classroom with Kevin teaching us all about these 3 subjects. I'll be there, but I think Kevin's going to do more of the teaching than me. But again, so much good information that they're going to be able to listen to and bring home and apply to their everyday lives out of these webinars. So that I think alone really merits having the $21 price.
Yeah. So yes, you will. And not only that, but it's a live webinar.
It's a live webinar.
If you can't be there live, it'll be recorded. But if you're on there live, you can ask any question you want.
Oh, absolutely.
You can stop me at any point during the presentation. Say, wait, what, huh? So
and you know, to people who are going to be in the challenge with us, if you cannot make the webinar, send us a question ahead of time and we will answer it in the webinar, and then you can watch it on the rewind so
all right,
nutrition guide.
So folks, our call to action is, if you are listening to this when it goes live or the week that it goes live, because the challenge kicks off September 9th. Is that right?
Yes.
That's a Monday.
September 9th
so Monday,
to September 29th.
Yes. We will have a kickoff call that night. We'll have a kickoff call that evening. We'll just go through all of the rules, tell you what it is, what it isn't, how you score points, get everybody in the app, answer any questions you have about that. So looking forward to a really fun challenge this year. This fall.
Yeah. Well, I've put a few new things in there, so I think everybody will like it.
Absolutely love it.
It's always a lot of fun planning these.
Yes. And look, folks, a lot of work goes into planning these as well. Anybody who's been through them before, we have some rave reviews of people that have gone through these in the past. But going back to where you started on the timing, as I'm thinking through this, so if this starts September 9th, basically the month of September, you're going to practice all these healthy habits. Now, some of you in the challenge will go on and we will have a special offering for a small group coaching experience for those of you that want to continue. Of course, anybody at any time can transition into one-on-one coaching. But regardless of what you do, I feel like the timing of that's perfect because now we're rolling into October. And guess what happens? At the end of October, for some of us, there's that Halloween to New Year that's just this healthy black hole, right?
It really
Where we
is.
just kind of let ourselves go. Halloween, there's parties and there's adult parties and there's trick or treat and there's candy. And
There's
then that
pumpkin
kind of
spice
rolls
everything.
right into Thanksgiving and that rolls right into Christmas, that rolls right into New Year's. And a lot of us, what we get into that, well, January 1st is the perfect day for me to get serious. I'll start then. So until then, let me just enjoy my life. And when you're saying enjoy my life, you're saying, let me just make these crappy, unhealthy choices for the next 3 months. So those of you that get through this challenge will get an opportunity to practice all of these healthy habits. And hopefully that'll help bring you through that holiday season for those of you that maybe struggle a little bit going through that time.
Yeah, right after the 21-day challenge is over, we do have another session of our group coaching. Now, we don't do these all the time. We only run these a few times a year. We do have a session of an 8-week group coaching. We have limited people. We limit this to 12 people. And it's similar to the 21-day challenge, but it's at a lot slower pace. And it's an extension of it. And we delve way deeper onto each of these subjects. You have this same app, you have even more workouts to choose from, but we go way deeper on each of these healthy habits, and you have a much longer time to practice all of these things. Right. And we're going to start that one. It will be for all of October and November. So that really is going to set you up to survive all of the holiday season well.
Yeah, so that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. But if you do the 21-day challenge and then you roll right into the 8-week or basically 2 months of group coaching where you get a lot more personal attention as well because there's only 12 of you as opposed to there will be a lot more than that in the actual challenge.
100.
So, yeah, right. So great point. Those of you that are starting to, maybe you're a little apprehensive about the holidays, maybe it's not such a great time for you from a health and wellness perspective, or even from a mental, emotional time. That would be a wonderful segue into the holidays. So yeah, folks, I guess we beat this drum enough, but that's our call to action is hop off the podcast here, go over to silveredgefitness.com/297 or just track us, just go to our website and hit podcast and hit the episode notes here. You'll see all that information in there, but we'd love to have you in there.
Yeah, we'll kick it off soon. So join now. We'll fill up fast.
That's it. All right. Well, Monica, I think that's it. We've pretty much hit what we wanted to hit. Doing our sales pitch for our 21-day Fall Fat Burner Challenge. Let's get you folks in there. So, Monica, I want to thank you so much for just being an amazing program director and putting together these 21-day challenges. Like I've referenced in the past, these things are wildly popular and successful. I know you put a lot of time and effort into that. And so I want to personally thank you for that. But thank you also for taking the time to come on the show here and sharing that with us today.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Okay, that's our show for today, folks. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I want to let you know that we have other free resources over at silveredgefree.com. There you'll find our free guides with our top tips on nutrition, exercise, and healthy lifestyle to assist you with your weight loss and fitness journey. So feel free to head over there and download anything that looks useful to you. I'll put links to everything we talked about in the show notes, and you folks can find those over at silveredgefitness.com/297. As we wrap up our time together today, you can show your support for this show in 2 important ways. The first is to tell a friend about this podcast and encourage them to give it a listen. The second is for you YouTube folks to click the like and subscribe buttons, and for you podcast folks to please give this podcast a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, and be sure to subscribe and follow so you don't miss any future episodes. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today, and until next time, stay strong. I'm thrilled to announce that registration is officially open for our 21-day fat. I am thrilled to announce that registration is officially open for our 21-day fat. Come on, Kevin. You can do it. I am thrilled to announce that registration is officially open for our 21-day Fall Fat Burner Challenge.